top gear. I ride the bike that lived fast and died young. Why driving from A to B needn't be as expensive as you think. A new life for the old champions of the track.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, here they are. All the cars in the Ford Escort class. Here's the Nissan Almera, the Toyota Corolla, there's the Astra, and here is the Ford Escort itself. They're all different, and yet somehow they're all the same. Here, however, is potato done in a different and interesting way. This is the new Fiat Bravo. This is what I've been on about. This is what an ordinary, medium-sized car can look like if you put a bit of effort into it. Of course, Alfa Romeo was adventurous with the styling of its 145, but that lets itself down by not being especially nice to drive. This is. Underneath, it's quite similar to the old Tipo, the car it replaces. But it's much more solid. Fiat say it's twice as rigid as a Volkswagen Golf, and that shows in the bends. This is wonderful. I'm in a three-door hatchback which you can buy for less than £10,000, and I'm having fun. And it's only got a 1.4-litre engine. Oh, happy days are here again. A good-looking car that's nice to drive and cheap to run too. This model should be an Insurance Group 9, and even if you drive it with verve and vigour, you should get more than 40 miles to the gallon.
Happy days are here again, the skies above are clear again, there's nothing at all.
But hold on a minute. You're thinking, what about practicality? Well, there's as much space in the back there as there was in the Tipo. And then if you come back here, the boot is a pretty decent size too. But what if you need more doors? Well, that's where the 5-door Brava comes in. Now, not only does it have a slightly different name, but also it has a completely different rear end. And then there's engines. There's the 12-valve 1.4 that I've been driving, the 1.6, and then the 16-valve 1.8 GT. Not the most rip-snorting barnstormer that ever cruised the motorway, but it only cost 12.5 grand, so who's complaining? You know, this range of motor cars just gets better and better. How come you've been so brave? I mean, the current thinking in the automotive world is make the cars look the same, don't put anyone off, and yet you've done this.
Well, I suppose we did this car, or these two cars, at the same time as we were doing or finishing the coupe and the barchetta. So we had the steam built up inside the studio, and we were on a roll. We just felt that, gosh, we've got to push this to the limit. We've got to break the rules. We've got to discover every niche and every angle of the car that we can add something that distinguishes it from the rest of the pack.
Are you very pleased with it?
Absolutely.
You're an American, so how come you've been able to design an Italian car?
Well, I work in an Italian system, and I mean, I guide a lot of Italian designers, and those Italian designers are backed up by a lot of Italian engineers, and the mentality and the feeling that goes from the culture goes into the car, and there's I mean, I just try to guide them on the right street.
I've saved the best till last, though. For years, Fiat has been trying to improve the quality of its cars, but most people still think there should be a UN peacekeeping force outside the dealers. They had to get the Bravo and the Brava right. It's been reported that the chief executive of Fiat, a huge bear of a man, told his engineers, "If this car squeaks or rattles, I will physically harm you." It doesn't. All the switches and so on seem to have a quality feel. Not that there are that many in this bottom-of-the-range model. You simply get the sensible stuff. Electric windows, power steering, and an airbag. It doesn't really matter what you're looking for. Value for money, practicality, safety, looks, performance. You get it with this. It's the best car in its class. By miles. Oops, sorry, I mean kilometers.